Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. Whether you're a professional landscaper or a do-it-yourselfer, get over to Omni with your truck and load up on mulch, topsoil, and more. 631-756-1125 is the phone number. The website omnitruevalue.com. And Tempest by Weatherflow, the revolutionary Tempest weather system. Get that, and you can join the fastest growing weather observing network on the planet. The link is on the descriptor to this video. And should you make a purchase of this or any other items that are on the Tempest website, use the coupon code Joe and Joe Weather Show because you'll get 10% off. Now, we've got a weak little front. It's very hard to find, but it is there. And it is right across Long Island, at least it was at 8 a.m. this morning, into the Hudson Valley and back over to southern New York. There's just enough here that it might trigger off an isolated thunderstorm in inland areas late this afternoon or this evening. That would be for, say, southern New York to the Catskills to the lower Hudson Valley, northwest New Jersey, and into northeastern PA. Otherwise, the day is fine. We still have some smoke issues thanks to the northwest flow, bringing down the smoke from the wildfires in Canada. That actually may get out of here for the second half of the week, and we'll talk more about that in a second. Meanwhile, weather's pretty calm up and down the eastern seaboard. Not a whole lot going on. We've got a high in West Virginia. There's a stall frontal boundary across South Georgia and northern Florida, where we're seeing some showers there. But otherwise, there's an absence of any kind of vigorous weather system that is moving along, and it's being reflected on the radar as you can see some showers in the southeast, particularly in South Georgia. With a few heavier thunderstorms there, but otherwise, you move up and down the eastern seaboard as of midday. There's nothing to worry about. I'd show you the satellite loop, but the GOES is down for the moment, so there are no satellite pictures available. Here's the Storm Prediction Center's outlook first for today, and you see that area that is over northwest New Jersey, northeast PA, the Hudson Valley, the Catskills into south central New York for that isolated thunderstorm chance late this afternoon or this evening. Otherwise, we do have a marginal risk down in Florida and in southernmost Georgia and Alabama, marginal to slight risk being indicated in West Texas, and a marginal risk up in Montana. For tomorrow, risk areas mainly confined to West Texas, general thunderstorms in the Gulf states, back to the Mississippi Valley, nothing in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states, nothing back through the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. And as we move on to day 3, which is Wednesday into Thursday, with a front coming through in the east, WPC's put an area of a chance for scattered thunderstorms possible from northern New Hampshire southwest into western Pennsylvania, and you see the marginal risk that's indicated in West Texas. We on the 7-day rainfall from WPC got a tenth to a quarter of an inch from southern New England down to coastal New Jersey to the Delmarva Peninsula. This hinges on some southern moisture and whether it works its way up the coast over the weekend. But there's a chance that it won't, and we'll get to that in a second. Meanwhile, you take a look at the area in the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley, and nothing, no precip for the next 7 days. Very dry. Florida on the wet side with several inches possible. Also from the southern plains northwestward up into the northern Rockies, anywhere from 3/4 inch to an inch and a half. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays. But we have higher pressures to our north and lower pressures to our south. And this is how it sets up all week long. The high that's over us now moves out to between Nova Scotia and Newfoundland on tonight and Tuesday, and this creates an onshore flow for Tuesday. That's going to hold the temperatures down just a bit. So highs today, low to mid 70s, a little bit cooler at the shore. Highs tomorrow, upper 60s to lower 70s, maybe a few middle 70s well inland. And much except for that scattered thunderstorm chance late this afternoon inland, we're talking dry weather conditions. Meanwhile, you see the rain over Georgia, down into North Florida for Tuesday. There's a low that's sitting east of the Bahamas. That is not tropical in nature, but it's just going to sit there all week. It has no way to escape until something develops to try to lift it northward or kick it eastward. Meanwhile, we have a front that comes through Wednesday with maybe a shower or thunderstorm, mostly in New England, for late Wednesday afternoon and evening. And then another big high builds down for Thursday and Friday. It's a cool high, certainly cool for this time of year. And that low that's off the southeast coast, just part of it goes out, but then another part gets left behind, and that just sits there. So I think we'll be fine for Thursday and Friday. We should also be smoke free because we're going to go into a northerly flow aloft. So that'll be good. And then comes the weekend. Does the low get completely suppressed to the south and that high to the north stays in control? Well, the models are starting to lean in this direction. It certainly says that Saturday should be fine for the Northeast and the northern mid-Atlantic states. You see the rain up into Carolina, in North Carolina and southern Virginia. And then as we move into Sunday, that high is still trying to hold on. So the European, and to a lesser extent the GFS wants to bring that a bit further north. We'll show that in a second. At least the old one did. We'll see if the new one does. But the Europeans got the best outcome for the holiday weekend, which says that Saturday and Sunday from eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England will be dry, and that maybe there might be some scattered precip on Monday. Just want to take a quick look at the new GFS, which should take us out not through the whole weekend at this point, but part of the week. So here's Friday, and now we go into Saturday morning. And it does say that Saturday's going to be fine if this is the case. You got a low that's off the coast near Charleston, and we'll have to just wait for the rest of the run to come in. So you know what? You can watch that and get all the latest information on the afternoon guidance to see what that does tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show, which is at 7:35 p.m. But keep your fingers crossed if you want a nice holiday weekend. Memorial Day holiday weekend is the one where you usually lose at least one day in most years. Some years you lose two, and every once in a while you lose all three. So I'm guardedly optimistic that we'll be dry for 2 out of the 3 days, but we shall see.